Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that came out on NBC News. And some of you might remember this Sutherland Springs massacre. This is when the guy down there in Texas went into a church and opened fire, and he mainly killed children, were really the biggest victims in the whole thing. Air Force repeatedly failed to notify FBI about gunmen prior to Sutherland Spring massacre. And here he is. I'm sure many of you remember the gunman who opened fire in a rural Texas church last year, killing 26 people, murdering as many as 3 generations of one family, could have been stopped from legally obtaining a firearm if the Air Force didn't shirk its duties, according to a newly released Department of Defense, Defense Department report. Following the November 2017 mass shooting in Sutherland Springs, the Air Force confirmed it had this guy had many issues in the Air Force, which was confirmed. So he received a court martial in 2012 on 2 charges. He assaulted his wife and stepson, and the 26-year-old who had been based in New Mexico was confirmed for a year, saw his rank reduced, and given a bad conduct discharge in 2014. So he was just problematic the whole time he was in the Air Force. I mean, but unfortunately, these are the kind of knuckleheads that make it in to the military. But the Air Force should have also submitted his fingerprints to the FBI and failed to do so on 4 occasions. The Defense Department 131-page Inspector General report found. Wow, talk about a breakdown in communication. Kelly's conviction should have also triggered the Air Force to send a final deposition report to the agency, which would have put him in the FBI's criminal history database and potentially prevented him from legally buying a gun. Instead, he passed federal mandate background checks and purchased 4 firearms from licensed dealers, according to the report. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, how many times have we heard about people passing a background check and they never really should have? Many times. It just go to show you the system is far from perfect. It really is. It's very flawed, because every time we see these shootings, it's always somebody that never should have had a firearm in the first place, but they somehow always have one. Okay. According to the report, Kelly used 3 of the guns he bought for the massacre at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. Armed citizens shot Kelly as he fled into his car. He later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. One reason for the lapse in reporting of Kelly's fingerprints to the FBI occurred when the case agent investigating the domestic assault said they didn't know it was a requirement. Wow. I guess you don't know to do your job if you don't even know what that job is. Other agents could not give a clear, supportable reason or explanation for why Kelly's fingerprints were not submitted to federal authorities, the report said. You know, like I said, policing and FBI and all these agencies are so poorly ran. It's not even funny. And you see the military is as well. The investigators and confinement personnel had a duty to know and should have known the policies, the report added. The failures had drastic consequences and should not have occurred. Well, it did occur. It did. And you saw how many people he took out. But ladies and gentlemen, I have seen unstable people in the military. And they know who's unstable. They do. They just turned a blind eye to it. But don't think for one moment they don't know who's unstable and who really technically shouldn't be there at all. But that's how it is in many of these agencies, just like you have these really cops that do many inappropriate things, but they keep them on the force. And you can see that is the case in all of these agencies. It doesn't matter if it's military or not. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. You know, because of these errors, this person was able to kill 26 people. That's America for you. But please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.